It's 1 minute past the hour of 9. A very wonderful morning to you, and thank you for staying with us on Diamond 88.7 FM. This is News Sponge, a news and current affairs compilation of topical story headlines making the rounds. I am your host, NEDU OKORIE. You are welcome. In the headlines this morning, Tinubu to swear in NEDU as IG on Wednesday. Police Council approves NEDU as substantive IGP. Tinubu hails Gbajabiamila's mother at 96, celebrates trailblazing legacy. Federal government commences February salary payment. Federal government begins implementation of executive order on direct oil revenues remittance to FARC. Governors back Tinubu on direct oil revenue remittance to Federation account. Federal government gives 4 billion naira each to 12 varsities for engineering upgrades. Wike accuses Amechi opposition of double standards over Electoral Act. Dangote refinery raises petrol price from 774 naira to 874 naira. This one says 2027, Edo Commissioner, Chief of Staff, others resign. Senate rescinds decision on immediate sack of CAC Registrar General. Reps move to establish FinTech Regulatory Commission. APC backs Kefas for another term in Taraba. DSS arrests suspect over attack on Peter Obi, others in Edo. Moving on to the foreign scene, 169 massacred in northern South Sudan. Saudi military raises readiness levels after attacks. China calls for ceasefire, diplomacy to end Middle East conflict. Israel kills 31 in Lebanon after Hezbollah fire. Moving into the world of sport, NPFL Ahmed Musa debunks Europe return rumors. Middle East crisis, Super Eagles Jordan Invitational tourney under threat. And those are the major headlines making the rounds this morning. It was compiled and edited by Abiodun Akinwumi. My name is NEDU OKORIE. For sponsorship or advert placement, kindly contact our sales and marketing office on 0912 929 4332. You can also call 090-7722-7120. Up next is the Diamond Breakfast Show, where we discuss and have an in-depth analysis on some of the topical stories. Don't forget that you can also follow us by logging on to any of Diamond FM online platforms on www.diamondfm.net, or keep up to date via all our social media pages. Do stay tuned. I'll be right back.
In the finest city of Ilori lies a secret.
88.7 FM.
Radio like no other. Tune in and discover these flavors. Simply relax, close your eyes, and enjoy the sound. Get it into your system. Diamond 88.7 FM. Radio like no other.
The major talking points in Nigeria are always on the lips of the citizens.
So you in this country, you got other countries taking it, and you call yourself giant of Africa. Yeah.
My business too much. I just do hard for us. I don't want to kill us.
for Nigeria. Please help us beg them.
They should reduce their expenditure so that they can free enough money for social development. I wish for a Nigeria where we elect a leader based on competency and not popularity.
On the Diamond Breakfast Show, we place the spotlight on the critical issues in the country.
Government that says they are broke can prioritize construction of an additional runway over education of the people.
And the government, how can you hold in the mean? It's intolerable. It's provocative.
Now, you see, when you look at our democratic journey, we are yet to practice the new democratic system in Nigeria.
Join us on Mondays to Friday on the DVS from 9 to 10 a.m. The Diamond Breakfast Show, amplifying the voice of the people. From the studios of Diamond 88.7 FM in Loring, this is the Diamond Breakfast Show.
All right, you're welcome to the Diamond Breakfast Show, the Tuesday edition. And I say happy new month. It's the third day in the month of March 2026. Happy new month to you. And how has your week been? Welcome to the Diamond Breakfast Show once again. My name remains NEDU OKORIE. My friends call me Mazio Dogu. Since you are my friend, you can call me Mazio Dogu. All right, this morning we have important topics to discuss. We have three topics. First, we'll take a look at the issue regarding government officials and the way they inherit government property. Yes, public property. As a court in Kano State has refused an order to stop the Kano State government from retrieving official vehicles from ex-commissioners. We'll take a look at that and how it impacts governance in Nigeria. Then we'll move on to the issue, the controversy regarding the former governor of Kaduna State, Malam Nasiru El-Rufai, as ICE, the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, have claimed that they found some devices in his residence, yes, some surveillance devices, and the denial by his family and the debate surrounding his travail. We'll be assessing it and analyzing all this morning. Then lastly, we'll take a look at a report that talks about the rate of suicide in Nigeria. And not just in Nigeria, the rate of suicide in the world and its impact. Yes, there is actually a part in the criminal code. Yes, I think there's a part in the criminal code that actually suggests that suicide is a crime. We'll look at all this morning, and you can be a part of our conversation by sending your message via WhatsApp on 09136556864. The number to call is 09136556952. All right, a very wonderful morning to you. Let's delve into what we have this morning. The National Industrial Court in Kano has refused a request by Malam Nasiru El-Rufai, by some former Kano State commissioners who wanted the court to temporarily stop the state government from taking back official vehicles given to them while they were in office. And these former commissioners are asking the court to issue an interim order to stop the government from retrieving those vehicles until the case is fully heard. Well, they sued the Kano State Attorney General, the governor of the state, and also the Kano State Public Complaint and Anti-Corruption Commission. Their argument is that the vehicles were part of their official benefits and that commissioners in Nigeria are usually allowed to keep them after leaving office. Well, we have to, discuss this because whatever belongs to the state actually was funded by the taxes of the people. So it is worth discussing. So as it stands now, the government or the judge of the court rather refused to grant their request to restrain the government from retrieving those vehicles. Instead, he directed them to formally notify the state government about the case, and the case has been postponed till the 10th of March. That's this month. When it will be heard again. But let's discuss this issue. What should this be a norm that after commissioners or public office holders leave office, after they leave office, they hold on to properties like vehicles or official houses or stuff like that? They hold on to it. Should this be the norm? Should this be some of the benefits you get after serving the people? The number to call is 0913-655-6952. That's the number to call. And the people identified, or the commissioners identified, are actually 5 in number, yes, who made these claims. Let's take some calls. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
NEDU, of course, and good evening, my friend.
You're welcome, Mr. Bamidelege. All right.
You do the best word I can use. That's the abnormal norm.
That's the abnormal norm.
No. Because there's risk between them now. That's why they want to receive it. Anybody taking that government, commissioner, or whatever, president and everything, anything they talk with that party or official functions automatically become their own. This is not normal. And that is why you see them budgeting for everything, budgeting for whatever every year, repeatedly.
Okay.
This is the problem. They want to receive it now because they have this agreement.
All right.
So, like I call it, this is their normal norm.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Bamidelege, for your contribution. All right, for those who are just joining us this morning we're discussing on government officials and the inheritance of public property in Nigeria. Is this a norm? According to the last caller, he said it is an abnormal norm because to him, he perceived that they are having an issue. That is why they are trying to retrieve the vehicles. But let's permit our guests to, analyze this issue. Let's talk to the head of News and Current Affairs Department, Diamond FM, Mr. Taiwo Adediran. You're welcome, Mr. Taiwo.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you for having me.
All right, it's so good to have you. Now, let's analyze this issue. Our last caller mentioned that it's an abnormal norm and it is arising as a result of the controversy or probable controversy that they might have. What do you make of this?
Well, that's a possibility.
Okay.
They have also made an argument that, the agreement, it has always been by convention.
Okay.
That as commissioners, after your tenure, you go with such public properties.
Yeah.
And that it is also in line with the dictates of the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and the Fiscal Commission.
Yes.
Now, I feel it depends. And this could be as it dictates in each state. I remember that when the administration of Ademola Adeleke came into office in Osun, just a few years back, they had the same issue with the administration of his predecessor.
Yes.
That's Oyetola Boyega, because they believe that certain properties are supposed to remain for whoever is taking up that office. And this is the essence of inventory. The fact that after an administration went up, whoever is taking over should be able to get the detailed inventory of the government properties and say, well, this is what we got from our predecessor, and going on, it remains government property. If there are some that are supposed to, according to the documents on ground that are supposed to be there and are not there.
Yeah.
Those who are living should be held responsible to answer for it.
Okay.
It got to an extent that they said even the curtains, the cups, and the plates that are in government house, they normally catch it away. And I have seen this happen over and over. It's not as if it's a hearsay. So this is something we need to address in our country. I'm not against people going with it. In fact, we have schemes where civil servants, once you rise to the extent of having official vehicles, you might eventually own the vehicle after retirement, or you decide to resign. But it's a policy, and that will mean that perhaps government is already deducting that from your monthly pay. So you are paying already at ease for that particular car. Maybe after you retire, maybe it will continue from your pension if it has not been completed or what. But no matter the situation, they try to just make it as easy as possible. Especially if the car, you have used it for a couple of years, you consider the wear and tear, and you just feel, let this person just take responsibility for this thing and go with it, and we can now buy another. This was a similar situation at the National Assembly. Remember when they came into office and they were buying cars at exorbitant rates, and we said, well, if you want to make it a policy, make it a policy that they deduct this from your allowances and all, and that when you finish your own tenure, whatever assembly is coming into office, that money will be in a pool for them to now get their own, also start paying back, and also it makes it easy. So this shouldn't happen again. But I also see from the angle of those who have decided to go to court, as well as the last caller who said it could be a sort of persecution. You remember what happened in Kano, that those who left, who are loyal to the Kwakwasia father, that's Rabbi Musa Kwakwaso, left government, and the present administration might not really be cool with them. So they are at loggerheads. Even his son, Kwakwaso's son, who happens to be one of the commissioners, I think Commissioner for Youth there, is also one of those who have decided to go to court now. So it could be because they might see it as, some sort of witch hunting and persecution. We never can tell. But their convention, as well as what is the rule in Kano State, should be able to guide us. But going forward, especially for other states, I think this thing needs to be addressed, so that people will not just leave office to the extent that they have to go and meet some people on the road to collect cars, tax force, to collect cars from them. It shouldn't even happen, because more or less, you are not carrying guns, but it's an act of theft.
All right, thank you so much for your submission. Well, I've also heard a couple of, I think in some states where not just vehicles, even office equipment. After one tenure leaves, they cut them away. Sometimes they auction it at cheaper rate. And when new administration comes in, then they start budgeting for new equipment. And this speaks a lot about, cost of governance that we have been talking about. At this point, let's take a break, and when we come back, we'll continue with our conversation and also take reactions from you. The number to call is 09136556952. Do not go anywhere. I'll be right back.
Ìgúnfẹ̀ burúkú àti inú kíkọ́. Gásíkọ́ ni oògùn tó dára tó máa jí pépé. Kò yẹ ká jẹun kó má lè digest o. Eré Fálátù, àlọ́tí àtayọ̀. Inú bá ti ń kan mí, máa tètè gbé. Relief food comfort. Ilé ìbàlọ́ bí ẹgbàwẹ̀ mi, máa tètè gbé. Gasco antacid, ó dára ká máa lò, bàbá jíjẹ bàrí tàbí àṣírí tán. Gasco antacid, ilé-iṣẹ́ Fixing Healthcare PLC ló ṣe é. Gasco, fast relief full comfort.
Better being iron and care, be good for your body, yeah. Are you not aware? Body that CD day for yeah. Now your day friend, for your blood, if it's 10 over 10. Oh yeah. Do your best, just do it on party test. Blood builder for everybody. Healthy body for everybody. Ferrobina, product of Leeds in healthcare.
Tune in to Brilliance, Diamond 88.7 FM.
All right, you're welcome back from that commercial break. You're still listening to Diamond Breakfast Show, and let's take some reactions before we move on to our second conversation. This one says, good morning, Mr. NEDU. If the vehicles is for them to perform official assignments, it is not normal for them to go with it when leaving the office. If it is a dash, that's if it is a gift to them from the state governor, it is understood. All right, thank you so much, Isa Mohammed from Ilorin. Let's take some calls. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name, please?
I'm Alaji Tai.
You're welcome, Alaji Tai.
You see, all these things depends on the arrangement made. I think Nigeria in our usual character, when you are in an office and some items are allocated to you, many times, once people are living such of it, they go with all these items, which is part of the culture of the country. But then, if actually in the exact law, if because any equipment attached to any office or any office is meant for that office, not for an individual. So if you are living that office, it behoves you to leave all those things there for your predecessor who is coming to take over from you, so that you have something to fall back to. But if in some agencies, there are exact law that says when you are a director or a director in an office and vehicle are allocated to you, when you are going, you go with such vehicle. So it depends on what is obtainable in the Kano. Maybe we are not that when the commissioner is going, all the vehicle given to service, it will go with them. But in most cases too, people still go for furniture items and other things, which is very bad. And this will tell you that it's part of our corrupt nature. So however, what I'm trying to say is that those who have gone to court, maybe they want to see that as a thing, but then it depends on what the boss says. That's it. As regards vehicles or other items allocated to a particular office. So they should go to court before we definitely decide on what is right and what is not right. If there's an exact law or such.
Thank you so much.
Good morning, sir.
All right. He's actually greeting you, Mr. Taiwo. Thank you so much, Alaji Taiwo, for your contribution. Keep your calls coming in 09136556952. Let's take this message from Kolade Ayinde. It says, public assets are for the smooth running of public office. They are not for the public office holders. Our leaders prefer to take public funds to their graves instead of providing access to basic social services. The release of public assets to retiring public servants should follow due process. All right, thank you so much. Hello. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Dr. V. Babatunde is my name. Good morning.
Dr. Babatunde, you're welcome this morning. It's so good to have you.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, when you talk about the issue, particularly the case in point in Kano, the first point I want us to ask is that what is contained in the laws in Kano? And if you look at the commissioners who have not even exhausted their time in office, we don't have any moral justification for them to go with such property. That is one of the paraphernalia of the office. I think it is, there's no any morality in that. So if it is contrary to the rules that governs, such assets in Kano, and they have done that, and going to court in order to, justify the abnormality, I think that court, if it has jurisdiction, should, quash that case of that injection to allow them to go with such. And then, when we look at it generally in Nigeria, I think that the government at the central or the National Assembly, although if they have, the mind to actually do that, since they are also would-be beneficiaries, we should make such law that it is just your political office holder, not a president or a governor. All of that, there is no reason why we should be wasting money on, purchasing another one for the next occupant of that office. We shouldn't leave such property for the next occupant because government will continue.
All right.
so that we'll be able to reduce the lot of money we waste on assets year in, year out. These set of legislators we get to office and you stay renovating their houses, you waste a lot of money doing that. So I think it is high time now we began to, amend such rules that favor that abnormally. And by so doing, we'll be able to have a very good country with Nigeria. That was another friend from Nigeria.
Thank you so much, Dr. Victor Babatunde. God bless you too. All right, those sending messages, please ensure your messages are very short and precise. This one says, good morning, NEDU, and our guest. That policy to me is not a good resource management. Whoever occupies certain positions could be entitled to a car for his day-to-day running, but must leave the car in a good condition while living. If we are talking about wastefulness in governance, this is one of it. After all, they will not be leaving the office poorer than they came. This is according to Elder Yemi Ashaju. All right. Politics in Nigeria has been termed as, a profit-making venture, and this is, some might see it from that angle. J.C. Obasan from Ofa says, to me, they knew it is meant for the office, so why asking for an order not to be taken? People in power like the habit of violating the law. Why? All right. Thank you so much, J.C. Obasan. Let's quickly move on to our second conversation. Let's take a look at the controversy surrounding the former governor of Kaduna State, Malam Nasir El-Rufai. His family has accused the ICPC of trying to damage his reputation by fabricating allegations, forging official documents, and waging what they described as politically motivated smear campaign over an investigation of alleged surveillance equipment. Remember when Malam Nasir El-Rufai came on national TV and said he was privy to some conversations made by or some instructions made by the NSA to the ICPC arresting him and all that he actually has people tapping his phone and all that. So I think it stems from that interview, from that, and people have called for the investigation of that statement. But now the family is saying that all this is just to distract the public, and his son, actually, Mohammed Bello El-Rufai, denied the claims that his dad refused to cooperate with the investigators. They are saying that if Malam Nasir El-Rufai refuses to talk or decides to remain silent, then it doesn't mean that he's not cooperating. But the main bane of conversation here is that the investigators went to his house and ransacked everywhere and discovered some equipment, but they are claiming that they don't have the warrant to search and all that. But I want you to wade in on this and the rationale behind the investigation going on right now. We have not had substantial information from the ICPC. It's just the allegation. But what do you make of this claim by the family of El-Rufai?
Well, we've not seen the end of this matter, yes, especially because it has become a political war.
Yes.
And, the man himself does not suffer fools gladly. He doesn't take things lying low. I want to say that, well, you might remain incommunicado, you might decide to keep mute, but it has a level, especially if there's a particular sort of investigation ongoing. You will be expected to speak, to respond to certain interrogations. But that is not to say that he does not have that right.
Okay.
To an extent, you have it. In situations where you feel they're probably trying to extract certain informations to you that could, be too sensitive or whatever, you might want to seek the presence of your legal counsel to be with you at that moment, or, speak with him before you then go ahead.
Okay.
But to say that all this while that we have had him in custody, he refused to talk, then we might be unable to proceed with whatever case that is on ground. He who comes to equity must come with clean hands. So if you want to prove your innocence, of course, he said they were asking for him to, they already summoned him and that he was going to hit the summon. So it is expected that when you get there, you speak with them and say whatever the situation is. Yeah. It's now a bit tricky because he has also sued them. We cannot go into the details of that, but the truth is an act of, government will see it as an act of espionage, that you own facilities capable of tapping other people's information, yes, and personal communication line. Don't also forget that the person in question happens to be the national security advisor. So that's one of the top security men in the country. Yes. Unfortunately, their battle might be a bit tougher. Why? Because they used to be very good friends, born in the same year, both have attended Abu Zaria, a lot of common things. In fact, I think at the time I heard that even Ribadu decided to name one of his son after El Rufai, to show you how very close and coordinated they've been, even right after they served during the administration of former President Olusegun Obasanjo, and that even Ribadu was rooting for El Rufai then to be the presidential candidate instead of the late Yaradua. So, but politics turn people to, it turns friends to foes, and that is what we have seen now. For me, it only behooves on him to prove these things. It is right to also go to court and say some people have invaded his residence illegally. That is if he can actually prove that it was an illegal operation and that the warrant that he got yet is illegal, or the court that usually does not have jurisprudence as they claim. So these are the things. So, but I just feel that there must be that cooperation. If you are not in government, there's always that sort of demerit there. So it's a difficult one, except you can actually prove your case to the letter. But to say you want to jeopardize the course of justice might be a bit tough, and that is what we are saying. So if we need to forge ahead with this particular case, everyone just needs to cooperate. If you really have nothing in your skeleton, in your cupboard, then prove it to us. The former Attorney General of the Federation too is having the same. Whereas we might all say these are people in the opposition camps, and that there's a sort of a persecution, is a sort of witch hunt. But I always ask, we always find this in every administration. Yes. But can this person prove indeed that he is innocent? That is the question. So if you are not innocent, yes, it's a difficult one for you to. And sometimes when you talk too much, you find yourself in trouble. So where the man might still have to write a second memo of his book, The Accidental Public Servant, when eventually he regains freedom.
People will say probably he was too confident while he was speaking on national TV that he got carried away, and maybe he's
that's why I said, well, sometimes when you talk to, he's a very vocal person, and it's not the first time he's saying such. He's known to be very, very daring and bold, and even as tough as former President Olusegun Obasanjo, as tough as he was, he also admitted that this man, although intelligent and very, very smart, he could be very, he used some sort of words to describe him then. So it's not a new thing. He has made very heavy allegations against this administration. I remember, was it in the days of the late Buhari, when he said, I think it was when this government came into power, that they were actually paying huge sums to bandits and kidnappers. After then, we also had another of such weighty allegation before we now had this issue of phone tapping and all. So it's expected that with such is going to face a whole lot of hardship. Let's see how it goes. Wow. For you to prove it, you need to really come out and say, this is the situation. If it's a legal tussle, let us go all out to fight it.
Just like you said, you must come with clean hands to claim equity, and the court is actually expected to decide whether the search warrant is lawful or not. And this actually speaks to about public office holders who feel that they are above the law, most of them, and is actually still facing some charges from his state.
Yes.
The State House of Assembly over misappropriation of funds.
Exactly, that one too.
That one is still there.
I think that was what actually brought ICPC into the whole front, and it's not going to be easy because if you look at the opposition, he seems to be one of the most confrontational out of them. People like Atiku Abubakar only speaks to the general issues. You have people like Peter Obi. He chooses his words. He's always very careful.
Yes.
You look like even people who speak as much have not been doing so. Someone like the former governor of Rivers State,
Amechi.
Yes, Rotimi Amechi. He's been careful. The loudest I've heard, I think on 2 occasions, at the time he said he be power that they are yes. And the second time was when they had this recent protest. He said, he came with his son, who happens to be a medical doctor, and that in case people get injured and all that. So most of these things are just theatrics. But someone like El Rufai, it is expected. I'm not surprised because he's a very daring person. People have words for people who are not at all like us, and problematic and all that. So it is expected. But if they get, and that is now, it seems to be like the government now has something on you. If it feels towards the government and they are able to hold something on people like that, who can actually give them, who can be a thorn in their flesh, then you seem to have played into their hands. And that, I feel, is what is playing out right now.
All right. Let's take this message and we'll go on a break. Elder Yemi Ashadu says it is a payback time for El Rufai. The evil that men do live with them and also haunts them. The security agencies will go the full length to unravel El Rufai's open confession. As it sees, El Rufai is a security threat to the nation. It is because of people like him that real-time transmission of election results will not work in Nigeria. Well, there is nothing El Rufai is going through now that he has not made people to go through also as a governor. All right, thank you so much, Elder Yemi Ashaju. Let's take a commercial break. When we come back, we'll continue taking your messages and your calls. This is still Diamond Breakfast Show, and I'll be speaking with Mr. Taiwo Adediran.
I respect to my bosses, Alaji Taiwo, Dr. Vio Babatunde.
All right. All right, let's take this break. When we come back, we'll continue taking your messages and your calls.
Announcement. The wait is over. Samsung has unveiled the powerful new S26 series, and it is now available for pre-order at Femtech. Experience unmatched speed, breathtaking camera clarity, intelligent AI features, and a design that defines premium. Be among the first in Nigeria to own the future. Pre-order the new Samsung S26 series today at Femtech and receive free gift items worth over 500,000 naira. Secure yours now with a pre-order deposit of 500,000 naira. Allocation is strictly limited. Call 0809 999 6565, 0809 999 6565, or visit www.femtechit.com today. Femtech, get more for less.
88.7 FM.
Follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Diamond87FM. Diamond FM, shining supreme.
All right, you're welcome back from that commercial break. It's still Diamond Breakfast Show. And this morning we've been talking about the travail of the former governor of Kaduna State, Malam Nasir El Rufai, as he is currently under investigation over alleged phone tapping. And let's take some calls regarding this particular topic. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. What's your name, please, and where are you calling from?
My name is Sadiq. I'm calling from Ukis.
All right, you're welcome, Sadiq.
See, I believe that it is the prayer of Nigerians that answer. Maybe the reputation of El-Rufai. Because if you remember, when the government came, El-Rufai has been attacking not because of the health driver that could not be given a particular post. Now, he was so funded on himself, going to the national television, honestly saying that, you know what did that mean?
Okay.
So, and I love this government because he was being overlooked. Because if everybody people have been arrested too, that will cause a national post. But one of the broker pets, among the people that
okay.
So they were looking for a particular thing, like this one, to hit thing, like a thorn in the flesh.
All right. In other words, you're trying to say that your prayers has been answered. In other words, you're trying to say that your prayers has been answered.
Everybody, because that's on tapping. It shows that they are really the security apparatus of the military.
All right.
They ambush all over here and there. It's one of the reasons.
All right, thank you so much, Sadiq, for your contribution. Mr. Ben from Itelepa says, good morning, Diamond FM. I think it is abnormal norm for some government officials to get away with government property after service. It is the part of corruption we are talking about in Nigeria. But the problem is that this type of issue normally come up when there is a change of political party in a state. All right. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
This is
You're welcome, quickly.
explanation from Itakule.
All right.
About the outcome of the judgment of the Kano State. It's a very welcome development because the vehicles are the public property, so they have the right to go away with it. So I'm very pleased with the outcome of the judgment. About the Rufai, so it is because not in APC again. If the Rufai is in APC, we will not have this type of problem. May God bless you. Dr. Larry Ukiki.
Thank you so much, Dr. Larry Ukiki. This one, JC Obasan, well, whatever a man does always comes back to deal with him. Never let office of position step on people's toe. God will have mercy on him. Thank you so much, JC Obasan from Offa. Let's quickly rush through our issues this morning. Let's take a look at the last topic. Let's look at the suicide rate in Nigeria. Recently, there have been some, internet controversy about suicide between a very dark man and another individual, and they've been showing some form of theatrics, drinking some substances on social media, on live stream. And let's take a look at this report by anti-suicide advocacy group known as Suicide is No Solution. They raised an alarm that that suicide occurs every 33 seconds. And it is estimated that 15,000 to 16,000 Nigerians die annually by suicide. Now, if we take a look at this scenario I just gave now, due to an issue or due to some controversy, some people came online and said they were drinking some substances to, annihilate themselves. That is also, according to criminal law, according to some legal analysts, they will say that that is a crime on its own, an attempt to take your own life.
Yes.
But let's look at this alarming rates now. In a year, over the world, 95,000 deaths have been recorded due to suicide. Should we say it is as a result of the state of the economy or what? Because for me personally, I can't imagine, that cannot even come to my head at all, because this life is so sweet. It's so sweet. So, but I want you to speak on this, please.
Well, quite unfortunate, some of the things happening online these days. a couple of things. We cannot say just one factor is responsible for the rate of suicide that we have in the country today. Some people are not even having financial issues, but they have mental, psychological disturbances, and they end up committing suicide. We have seen rich people who have also committed suicide. We can count some of them in the country. I think I remember one of the cases in Lagos. A particular man, was it not even in the media or something, who died, and people were like, what happened? What could have been his problem? Because this person is doing well in his business. So it could be family issues, it could be people just have mental disturbances that might lead to it. And in situations where it is becoming more and more popular, you also mentioned that in the last 2 months, all over the world, we have seen about 95,000 deaths now. White people are dying. We are seeing more of such cases in the black man's land now. You just see pictures all over the place, people hanging themselves, and so it's unfortunate. Now, if the social media that should serve, especially for skit makers, they always say theater or acting mirrors the society. But then it is expected that it will also be a tool to make the society better. And that's why you normally have those tragic comedy movies, or movies that are actually preaching sense or preaching sanity, so that people can know, even if you do things in the wrong way, there's always a repercussion for it. So in that instance, it should be with moderation. But what you are saying now, because when I saw, I think I traveled in the course of the week, and that was when I saw that video, that clip on Twitter of that lady, Chingmichi, taking a map. And I looked at it, I said, already people believed it. And I said, this is ridiculous. Because she was there. She was not the only one there. If you watch that video, minutes before she took it, she was holding it already. So the people who rushed to save her were also there. They could see it. So if you want to stage manage something to let us know that this lady was so frustrated that she decided to take her own life, what were you looking at all the while? When she decided to break the sachet, what were you looking at? Till she took the content. We had then you had after her, you now had the other man, a very dark man, catching cruise with this thing by saying, oh, this battle has not finished. I'm going to follow you to where you have gone to continue it. And all through that day, we saw that particular product, I don't want to mention the product that they drank, trending. Not for the right reason, because it's not even what it is used for. It's used for washing. Unfortunately, you have people drinking it. So it's for different thing entirely. The other one that this lady took, Mirabelle, it's also to make your compound insect free. But unfortunately, people are taking it for a wrong reason. Now, if you have people with suicide ideation, people who are nursing suicide attempts, and they now say, okay, I've even been thinking about that. You don't have a gun, then this is another means by which you can die. Then it makes it easier for such people. So it's quite unfortunate, even for people who want to kill. It means that you can pick up someone, get whatever substance, and forcefully give it to someone to drink. So it's an unfortunate one, and I don't think all these things should, be popularized at all in our society. We need to wage war against most of these things. The generations coming now seems not to have that deep thinking of most of these things. And so they see it as, for flimsy reasons. You just mentioned it, that this life is sweet. And it's not as if you are not going through things. We are all going through tough times.
Of course.
Do you understand? The other day I told you I was at a function, and the low house were sending me message. You understand? But that would not stop me from enjoying myself at that place. Yes, because life continues. The situation you have now, these people have kids. When you do that, you commit suicide. What becomes of the kids that you are leaving behind? So it's and you are making life difficult for those you are leaving behind. So it's something that we really need to address. How we now tackle it, especially the social media ills, is what I do not know, because all hands must be on deck. And that's why when people talk about the freedom of speech, freedom of assembly and all that, I always say this thing should be to an extent. It cannot be absolute. At a particular time, we need to moderate it.
All right. Thank you so much for addressing this issue. And I think those who understand human psychology should also make use of their platform on social media to talk about this issue.
Yes.
And
but these are social media influencers who people pay to actually push some idea, and now you are pushing the wrong narratives. Unfortunately.
Let's wrap it up by taking some messages. This one says, Mr. Nedu, take it or leave it. Poor people don't commit suicide. Those who take their lives are not content with the way God have made them. This is according to Isa Mohammed. All right, thank you so much, Isa Mohammed. Let's take this call. I will call it a day. Hello, good morning.
Calling from
Abdulaziz, all right, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. The only appeal that I just want to make to government, especially concerning our own country here, is that they should make a strict law that please will be hard for people to take their life. Like even if somebody mistakenly or thereabout kill him or herself, that they should even jail the corpse of that person. Maybe the immediate family, because I think it happened in one country, maybe Japan or thereabout, where people are taking their life also. So they should make it very strict and then try to make life more bearable for people and more livable, so that things will go well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That's quite funny, Mr. Abdulaziz is saying that even if they eventually commit the suicide, their corpse should be jailed. Yemi Ashaju says some people commit suicide because they lack the right people to talk to when going through some challenges, some temptation, some frustration, some mental imbalance, and some protracted loneliness. Well, for me, I think if you don't have someone to talk to, you have a creator. Sincerely, I think this prayer will always talk about.
Is to observe and be able